In a quiet suburban neighborhood in Ohio, where the road stretched endlessly under a bright blue sky, Bella, a golden retriever with honey-colored fur, lay in the front yard of the Parker family home. The air was crisp, the kind of day that made you want to linger outdoors. Yet, Bella seemed detached, her soulful eyes scanning the street as if searching for something, someone. 8 years ago, Bella had been a proud mother-to-be. But fate had cruelly snatched her joy, her litter had been stillborn. From that moment, a shadow had lingered in her heart, a yearning she couldn't quite understand. She poured her love into the Parkers, especially 10-year-old Mia, who clung to Bella like a lifeline after her father passed. But even Mia's affection couldn't fill the void in Bella's soul. That morning, as the sun painted the world in gold, Bella perked up suddenly. Her ears twitched. There was a faint sound like a cry for help. The sound came from the far end of the neighborhood, beyond the rows of neatly trimmed hedges. Bella bolted up, her instincts pulling her forward. Mrs. Parker, who had been watering the flower beds, called out, "Bella, where are you going?" But Bella didn't pause. There was urgency in her steps, a fire in her heart she couldn't ignore. The sound grew louder as she approached the edge of the woods, a tiny desperate mewling that pierced the otherwise serene day. There, beneath a bush, lay a box. It was soaked with morning dew and torn at the corners. Bella nudged it with her nose and peered inside. Her heart sank. Inside was a kitten barely clinging to life. Its gray fur was patchy, its body shivering with every shallow breath. It was heartbreakingly small, its eyes weren't even open yet. Someone had abandoned it here in this forgotten corner of the world to die. Bella sniffed the kitten gently, her warm breath causing it to stir weakly. A quiet whimper escaped her, almost as if she were grieving the cruelty of it all. Without hesitation, Bella picked the kitten up by the scruff of its neck, cradling it as tenderly as she would her own. Back at the Parker house, Mia was the first to spot Bella. "Mom. Bella has something," she shouted, running down the porch steps. When Mia saw the kitten dangling from Bella's mouth, her eyes widened. "Oh no," she whispered, reaching out to take it. The kitten was so cold, so fragile. Mrs. Parker brought out an old blanket, and Mia carefully wrapped the tiny creature. Bella sat beside her, her eyes glued to the bundle. Her tail thumped softly against the ground, but her expression was one of quiet determination. "Where did you find it?" Mrs. Parker asked, but Bella only nudged the kitten gently as if to say, "It doesn't matter. It needs us now." They named the kitten Willow, after the tree near where Bella had found her. From the very first moment, Bella became more than a rescuer, she became a mother. She stayed close to Willow, licking her tiny body to keep her warm. Willow, too young to know any better, latched onto Bella for comfort. The kitten's cries softened, replaced by faint, raspy purrs. Days turned into weeks. With the Parkers' help, Willow grew stronger. But it was Bella who did the real work. She rarely left Willow's side even when it was time for her meals. She would wait until Willow had been bottle-fed before she'd eat. At night, Bella curled around Willow, her warmth a shield against the cold world outside. The bond between them became the talk of the neighborhood. At first, people thought it was endearing, a dog raising a kitten. But soon the whispers began. "A dog can't raise a cat. That's not natural," said Mrs. Carter, the nosy woman from 2 doors down. "What happens when that cat grows up? Cats are predators by nature." Mr. Green, the mailman, added, "I've seen things like this before. When the instincts kick in, it'll end badly. Just you wait." The words found their way to Mrs. Parker, who worried silently. Could they be right? Could something so pure end in heartbreak? The answer came on a bright spring day, when Willow was nearly 6 months old. She had grown into a sprightly, curious kitten with striking green eyes and a streak of mischief. Bella adored her, tolerating every playful swat of the paw and every attempt to climb onto her back. That day Mia and Bella were playing fetch in the yard while Willow explored the bushes. The clouds were high, the sky impossibly blue. It seemed like nothing could go wrong. But then, out of nowhere, a hawk appeared, a dark shadow cutting across the perfect sky. It circled once, twice, and then dove. Mia screamed as the hawk's talons reached for Willow, but Bella was faster. With a ferocious growl, she launched herself into the air, intercepting the bird just inches from Willow. The hawk screeched, flapping its wings furiously as Bella snapped and barked, forcing it to retreat. When the danger was gone, Bella turned to Willow, who was trembling but unharmed. Bella licked her softly, her eyes filled with relief and love. Mia knelt beside them, tears streaming down her face. "You saved her," she whispered, burying her face in Bella's fur. As Willow grew, she never strayed far from Bella. She would sit beside her, curling into her warmth just as she had when she was a kitten. Bella, now graying and slower, seemed content in a way the Parkers hadn't seen before. The neighbors eventually stopped whispering. They saw what the Parkers already knew. Love isn't confined by rules or instincts. It doesn't ask for permission or explanation. It simply is. And for Bella and Willow, it was everything. Years later, when Bella's time came, Willow stayed by her side until her very last breath. The Parker family buried Bella beneath the willow tree, the same one where she had found the kitten all those years ago. And every day without fail, Willow would sit by the tree, her green eyes gazing toward the horizon, as if waiting for the gentle soul who had loved her enough to save her life.